So now we're on the YouTube pre-show of the Royal Rumble predictions for this year. And the match itself is the United States champion Antonio Cesaro defending his title against The Miz. Now, right away, I want to say one thing about the YouTube pre-show for this. I'm disappointed and I'm not. I'm not disappointed in the sense that they could have gone a whole lot worse than this, and they could have had Caitlyn versus Tamina or something like that. Now they might throw that on the card itself, which if they do, that sucks. They could have done a lot worse, but at the same time, I'm disappointed that they didn't do anything about the Royal Rumble. This was their chance to do something a little bit different and fun, and this is just another generic match. I doubt the title is going to switch hands, and I was really kind of looking forward to either them doing a qualifying match, maybe even that the finals of the NXT thing to see that person qualify for the Royal Rumble, or they could have done what they used to do back in the day, where if they didn't do the thing with the beat the clock with Dolph Ziggler getting the 1 or 2 spot, they used to have the free for all for, say, the 96 Royal Rumble was Duke the Dumpster Droese against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and the winner of the match won the number 30 spot, the loser of the match had number 1. That kind of stuff I always liked. And I also always liked when they did the backstage segments of people with that little tumbler, and they would pick their number, oh, yeah, man, damn it, I got that number, and you don't see what it is, and then later on you find out they're number 3 or something like that. That is something I really, really miss, and I really wish that they could bring it back. They might still do it on the pay-per-view, but I thought, why not do that for the pre-show? Just have a group of like 5 people or so pick their numbers, and you kind of reveal somebody got number 29 or something like that, and it's like a John Cena or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, big stuff about the pay-per-view later on. And I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, speaking of the tumbler, it's like they phased that out of the Royal Rumble, like those segments. They've kind of been phasing it out completely since like 2008.
It's a shame.
Like it's been a long time since we've seen a show. I can't remember since Royal Rumble 2006. It's the last time I can remember them actually showing the tumbler segments backstage.
And they had some good segments as well. There was a nice one with Eddie Guerrero where he stole Ric Flair's wallet.
Yeah, that's the year before. That's 2005.
Yeah, and he's literally, you had like Teddy Long running after him trying to get the number back, and he's like, and the other thing, and he then hands over Ric Flair's wallet. He's like, what? Oh, I'm gonna beat you! I'm gonna kill you! And it was hilarious.
That was the typical old John Cena before it got tiresome thing where Dawn Marie is sitting there and he's like, "Oh, you want to grab my ball for me?" and all this other kind of shit. Like, they had fun with it back in the day. I wish that they would bring it back.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and it also used to be suspenseful also too, because like you said before, if somebody would get a number, you're like, oh crap, well shit, what number are they gonna be? And then when it pops up, like, oh damn, in the middle of this mess, so it'll be good. But now it's just
Yeah.
What I love is that the tumbler is gaining more discussion than the actual pre-show match that talking about.
Yeah, isn't it?
I don't really care about the match. I mean, I'm expecting Antonio Cesaro to win.
This is something you'd expect. I thought they were actually going to throw this haphazardly, impromptuli on the card, which I hate when they do that. Stick with your advertised matches. Don't add shit on the fly while you're on the air. That annoys the hell out of me. And I thought that's what this match was going to be. And then when they announced that it was going to be the pre-show, I'm like, well, that's pretty decent for a pre-show. But again, like, I guess there's not really much to invest into. You know what I mean? Other than the fact that it's for the title. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Cesaro's going to retain. I hope he retains. I mean, Miz doesn't need the United States Championship at all.
Miz needs to stay away from the mid-card titles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Miz needs to go to
Cesaro's in the middle of a run that's kind of like defining, his mid-card stature right now.
Yeah.
So to have Miz win would be detrimental to Cesaro as a whole. So he absolutely needs to retain. I'm pretty sure that they could put on a good match, probably maybe the best in terms of pre-show so far, but there's not a whole lot to invest into from a viewer standpoint per se.
No, I agree. It's one of those where it's considered a throwaway match, and I would say in regards to the Rumble itself, there's not really many matches on the card that are considered, huge caliber matches. Everything in here just seems too throwaway.
Does anybody think that Miz is going to win the title?
No,
No, he
Hell
shouldn't.
no.
He
ain't
should
gonna win
not hold that championship at all.
yeah.
it.
Now, does everybody agree with me that this is actually the more important part is going to pop up at the Royal Rumble itself, where one of them eliminates the other one? More likely, The Miz eliminates Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah, that's going to actually add more to the storyline of that Antonio Cesaro saying that no American can beat me, and then it starts out with him getting tossed out of the ring by an American. So then that's what starts that little rift going.
I'll one up you on that. Antonio Cesaro will be thrown out by an American, but it'll be Jack Swagger.
Face turns?
Yeah,
That will
all
be
American,
good.
American.
I've been wanting them to do that for a long time now,
Yeah.
having him turn face and do some kind of a All-American for the U.S. title thing.
They dropped a ball on that guy. Seriously, they dropped the ball on him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you totally, 110%. They need to do a face push, and the best way to do it, and give Antonio Cesaro a bit of fodder as well, is just have him just go in there and toss the guy out. Not in that way.
And to bring it back to the match, though, I don't think we can have the Miz lose either. Not with what they're trying to do with him, unless they lost faith with him because of his performance with that figure 4 this past week. But I predict that, this is a pre-show, so no one's really going to care. We'll probably see some kind of schmozz ending with this, maybe a double count out or something along those lines, something that'll protect both guys.
When he breaks out of the figure 2 lock.
And the United States title really does get stamped at the pre-show a lot now, doesn't it? This has got to be like the third time that they've had a U.S. title match for a pre-show. Seriously.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of times it has Cesaro.
There's a reason why, though. It's because they haven't found the perfect opponent for Cesaro. For me, I know who that perfect opponent would be. It's Cassius Ohno. But they won't call him up to the main roster yet for some weird reason.
I still think that we're going to see a feud between Cesaro and Christian. That'll be good.
I think Christian's the perfect fodder for him going into WrestleMania, personally. If we're going to talk about, like, a real, this defines your run as a United States champion, I think a match between the two at WrestleMania would actually be very good.
I think we should have a real man's man.
Regal.
Yeah. He's a man.
All right, well, there's our predictions for the YouTube
Christian.
pre-show, and of course, if I am able to watch it, I'll be talking about it. If it doesn't work for me, then I'll have to watch it later, and all that kind of
I
stuff.
love the way he goes, if I'm able to watch it, like, if I give a shit, I'll make sure that I'll talk about it.
If it works, like it sometimes does, and if it doesn't, like it most of the time does, then we'll see what happens with that. The next part 5, we will talk about the Tag Team Championship, and then we'll get into the 2 world title matches, and that should be it for episode 64. So part 5 is coming your way.